Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Multiple Worlds. Good afternoon. It's a beautiful day today. Not a cloud in the sky, and the sun's shining, so I'm getting some vitamin D. Always need some vitamin D as winter comes to an end. I don't think we're gonna get any more snow because in the forecast, spring's around the corner and it's all gonna be in the 50s or 60s. So today I'm gonna be working on my Toro 418 Zulu Echo. Received the carburetor in the mail about a week ago, but I've been so busy that I'm just getting to it now. I paid about 12 or 11 bucks for this. It's a Chinese copy carburetor for this machine. Also came with a couple of hoses, gaskets, primer bulb assembly, which is great. That one's good, so this could be saved for another application in the future. Fuel filter. And like I said, only 11 bucks. I honestly don't know how they make any money because it must have cost at least 4 bucks to ship this, right? If I paid 11, we're talking about for their eBay fees and all that. They might have made like 4 bucks off of me. And then how much did they pay for it? They paid 2 bucks. So they go through that to make 2 bucks. They should just try to sell stickers. Support the channel. Buy a sticker. I got this machine from Nick Iardi from West Islip. He gave it to me taken apart like this because the carburetor was bad. He thinks that's the only reason that it won't start is because of the carburetor. So as you can see here, this panel here affixes the carburetor onto the 2 studs, right? Snowblowers don't have air filters because if you're blowing snow, there's no dust or anything, so you don't need an air filter. This panel goes over here, has electric start. It's a decent snowblower, you know. Brand new, this thing was like $500-600 bucks, believe it or not. You know, crazy, right? Maybe not 600, 400 or 500, something like that. I'm gonna remove these studs over here, remove the carburetor, put the new gaskets on, simply just put it on there and see what happens. So just from looking, you can see that this is a 10mm nut, and that's a 7/16 nut. That one came off easily. But I don't think the other one's gonna come off easily because you can't even turn it. So I'm almost afraid if it's stripped or not, you know? This nut's like forced on here. I'm gonna have to find another nut. You're a nut. The linkage is on here. Uh-oh, what was that? How do you remove the linkage with this on here like that? Good Lord. Okay, I got it off the studs. I just had to pry it. And there it is. This didn't come with a bowl. I just got it like this. This is a carburetor that, you know, he had, but he didn't give me the rest. So I had to change it anyway. This is like a heat gasket, you know? I don't know if that's right, because it doesn't really affix on here well. Plus it's kind of dusty. I have new gaskets I'm going to put on there. Spacer. Because the person before me, probably Nick, probably tried to pry the carburetor off as I did, the throttle linkage is kind of bent out of shape. It's no longer a Z bend. This needs to be bent like a Z. hope I don't break it. See, if you put it on there like that, it looks like it might come out. So I have to make it a Z-bend. Okay, so I looped the throttle linkage into the hole, as well as the small wire one that's also a Z-bend. So got it on there. It wasn't too tough putting it back on. It's a pain to get it off. As you can see, throttle moves as it should. Gonna connect the fuel line now. It was missing the hose clamp, but I took one of the hose clamps off the new hose that I got from the kit. There you go. That's not going to leak. Now it appears that you put this on like that. Like that. Let's not forget the new gasket. Damn, that doesn't even fit the studs. The hole's not big enough. That's what she said. Honestly, man, that's gonna tear. It's the only bad thing when you buy aftermarket parts, that they're not exactly drilled the right way, you know. But since this is just the outer part of the carburetor to the air filter base, or the not the air filter base, but the base, you know, the seal is more important from the carburetor to the block, not so much the outer one, you know. So look, here is a primer hose that is really a fuel line, you know. I guess it'll work, but the proper primer hose is right here. I'm going to connect it onto this primer bulb over here. First, I'm going to try to affix this. Bend that out a little bit. Okay. And not push it in all the way. I'm going to loosen this air filter hose clamp. Put the primer hose onto the nozzle without breaking it. I have broken it a few times if you're not careful. Put the hose clamp back on the hose again, the fuel line, the primer line. Seems to work. Got two 7/16 nuts that are in there now. Looks pretty tight, maybe too tight. Here's a choke lever, works as it should. I believe this thing goes on there. And does it go on like this or like that? Oh, it has the signal. It tells you it's that way, so it's got to be up. Crap. There we go. Now this goes over here. I checked the parts thing. That didn't look right. I thought there might be some kind of a rubber grommet here for the wire, but there isn't. It's just like that. It's kind of funky if you ask me. You know, the whole opening here is just so big for this thing. I almost think that there should be something there to keep the rope from moving around like 1.5 inches of play there, you know. So that's a bad design. I didn't see any bolts or anything, so it's got to be like that. Don't think these are the bolts for this, but it fits. I'm gonna try it. All right, that looks like that's it. Stick the key back in here, put it upright. Let's see if it starts. So if you're looking at this from the top, right? Look at the choke lever, okay? So look at the icon. It's not exactly closed and it's not exactly open. So is it telling you that to push it that way for choke or for run? In snowblowers, normally it's that way to choke it, and when it's running, you move it to run. But it doesn't say that. I'm just gonna try that, because normally snowblowers is to the right to choke, and then to the left to run. So, let's give it a couple of cranks and see what happens. I'm gonna prime it. There's plenty of gas in here, I saw it. Don't smell anything. The primer seems to feel okay. Okay, so it starts and runs on choke. When you put it to run, the RPMs are out of control. This engine will blow up if I kept on going. There's something wrong with the throttle cable, for sure. Throttle linkage. It's too fast. Gotta check it. I gotta take this apart again. It was a pain in the ass. I had to reset the governor. It was difficult to get under there. Tried to take the gas tank off, but all the screws were 5/16, but they were all cramped up in there, and I couldn't find my swivel one, so I couldn't get to it. So I decided I was just gonna reset the governor and adjust it. Started it, shut it off, started it, shut it off, started it, shut it off. Bent the governor spring a little bit to give it a little bit more slack so that it wasn't so tight to give it full throttle the entire time, you know. Had to take the cover off, the gas cap, to take the cover off, the 2 screws over here. Pain in the ass. While the carburetor went on just fine and it just sounds great, it was just revving too high for my liking, you know. It probably could have just stayed that way if I wanted it to, but I wanted the RPMs to be lowered quite a little bit. If you left it the way it was revving way too high, but then it went back down when you engaged the auger, you know. But for these little 2 strokes, you need a little bit of strength to the augers for it to blow it far, you know what I mean? If it's RPMing just at like idle speed, it's not going to throw anything, you know what I mean? So you do need it to be a little bit higher than like a lawnmower or something, you know? It was running great for a while, but then I stuck my finger in the hole for the oil. Didn't really seem like it had much oil in it. I'm going to show you. This thing starts up great. Check it out. You gotta take the key out to shut it off. I don't like that because I have this string here which gets in the way of you pulling it, you know? Check the oil. So here's the oil reservoir down here. If you guys can see, you can't see much in there at all. Pain, huh? Screw it in. I don't really see any, do you? I might have to add some Lucas 5W30. I've got it kind of upright because it's kind of a pain to get a funnel in there, so I'm just going to pour some in this way. Just going to put a little bit down in. And then put this down a little bit, see if I can see it. And I still can't see it. I'm gonna put some more in there until I could see the oil. If you can't see the oil while it's horizontal down like that, that's not very much oil, you know what I mean? I could sort of start to see it, but I still need some more. This thing hardly had any oil in it. And you know what? It was running pretty good. This is a long Sin engine, I believe, and honestly, it doesn't sound bad at all. I can sort of see it, but I still think I need more. I'm just going to add some until I can see it. At least up to the threads, you know what I mean? If I put too much in, it'll blow out the vent. There we go. Now I could see it. So now it's got enough oil in it. I feel pretty good about that. 4 days, almost 5 days sitting, and I have 12.4 volts. Maybe this will actually start a lawn tractor battery, huh? This string that holds the key there, it bothers me because when you're trying to start it, sometimes you get hooked onto this and you pull the key out. So it just bothers me, so I'm gonna cut it. And I do kind of think you need it because with the vibrations and you're banging it and stuff, sometimes when you get frustrated, the key might fall out and then you might lose it. So I think I'll just put it on this side That way the string won't get in the way of pulling it to start. You know what I mean? So, you know, just makes sense, and it bothers me, so. So there we go. We put an $11 brand new Chinese copied carburetor on here with the gaskets, and it starts up fine. But the RPMs were very high. So I had to take this whole thing apart, reset the governor, and then adjust the governor spring manually just to get the right RPMs that I'm comfortable with. And then while the auger is engaged. Because when you engage the auger, it lowers the RPM a little bit more than when it's just free running without any load on it. So now I'm pretty satisfied with this Toro 418Ze Zulu Echo. It's a 4-stroke single stage snowblower. It's in pretty good shape. I got it for free from my friend Nick from West Islip. Put an $11 carburetor on here, and I don't think it's going to snow for the remainder of this year. But it's a pretty newer snowblower that is normally in my inventory. I usually have super old stuff that's just crap. So I might get 150, 200 bucks for this if it snows next year. But got this out of the way. Now on to the next project in another video. Thanks a lot for joining me on today's episode. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Because the UPS guy screwed this up. I'm gonna see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, remember to give me a like. Also, comment below. Subscribe. Remember, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It's free, right? Also, hit that little bell. That way you'll get post notifications whenever there's a new video, and you won't miss out on any of them. Remember to follow my Instagram and Facebook, as well as if you'd like to donate $1 or $2, paypal.me/mowersandblowers. Really appreciate all the support. Also, to keep the videos coming every day, support the channel. Bye.